Yep. So once again, we go to Classic because the new version doesn't seem to like Explorer mode. And, hmm, I thought I played this map before. Hmm, I didn't? Yeah, I usually play these before I actually do a stream on them. Okay, I must have forgotten to. Um, okay, so we have our normal kind of daily challenge settings. Um, just do some adjusting of the screen here. Um, I do these on a laptop, so I'm short on screen size, I need to go get a larger screen, and have the laptop run that, but you know, you know, I mean, for a laptop, this thing is kind of a game rig, but it can drive a much larger screen than it actually has on it. Okay. Um, yeah, so you see this sort of construction in Ireland, that you see these like these walls especially are very Irish. That you have. Oh, this is interesting. We have yellow lines on the outside and white line on the inside, which is not normally European. Southern African countries, of course, have this pattern with the yellow lines on the outside, but typically in Europe you don't see any yellow lines on the road. Um, yeah, yeah. So here, this sort of concrete wall and this kind of appearance of the house, um, is typically Irish looking. Um, Also, the map that I've chosen to use is a map. It's the official map of Ireland, so we know that this is not Northern Ireland from the beginning. That would be in the United Kingdom map. Um, there must be maps of Ireland that include the entire island. But this is not one of them. Okay, we've got a sign. Okay, we have welcome to County Offaly, Ireland's ancient east. And you'll also notice here that there is Irish on this sign. Okay, so Ireland's ancient east. Okay, so what makes me think to look near the Hill of Tara. The Hill of Tara is kind of north of Dublin. It's the site of the ancient Irish High Kings. If you've there's the circumstantial evidence that the Y chromosome of the ancient Irish Y kings of the ancient Irish High Kings is the most common one in North American populations. And in fact, I know from genealogical databases that one of my 16 great 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 grandfathers has the Y chromosome in question. A person, Lewis Dunn, from who was the county clerk of Otoe County, Nebraska, in 1880. Served in the Civil War in the U.S. Was that his family are verified from genealogy to be descended from the ancient Irish High Kings, and so logically I am with some female links in there. Okay, County Offaly. Uh, yeah, I didn't give myself time to look for that because of the bloviation about. Oh, there's County Offaly. Okay, yeah. The Hill of Tara, as I remember, it's I think it's around like Navan or Kells. But I don't know its exact location offhand. But the Hill of Tara contains the ancient stone where supposedly the High Kings of Ireland were crowned. Um, and in mythology, it was claimed that the stone made some sort of noise, when the true king stepped on it. Um, okay, so yeah, so in terms of the appearance on that round, you could see that that Ireland, it's kind of it's kind of like a much warmer version of the Faroe Islands or Iceland, actually. That there's an odd thing that in North America, typically we think of northern environments as being dominated by pine trees, right? Um, and then as you go farther to the south, then you have deciduous forests, in the east, and then south of the pines, out here it switches over to steppe and even sort of semi-desert, down here. Um, that in uh, in their case, that you do find that sort of progression um, from tundra to pine and birch forest, in Sweden and Finland, and then more addition of deciduous trees as you go southward. But in Western Europe, oddly, like that it turns out to have to do with having a small temperature range from moderating ocean currents from the Atlantic. That in areas that have a fairly warm annual average temperature but a small range, there's a tendency instead for the there's a tendency for forests not to form. Um, and that I had thought, at one time that that sort of appearance in the UK and Ireland was due to deforestation, and sometimes it is, but a lot of this kind of landscape that doesn't have as many trees in it, that this is a partially natural phenomenon. Um, and I think in Ireland, like forests tend to be down in this corner, like closest to the continent. Um, and that it's very interesting how completely mild the climate of Ireland is. That in January, Cork is actually warmer than Charlotte, North Carolina. In fact, I think it's even warmer than Atlanta. Um, and that you will, down in this part of Ireland, you will actually see some strange plants that they can grow because of the lack of extreme cold in the winter. Um, the main one that comes to mind is this thing from New Zealand called a cabbage tree. Um, or I think I've thought about referring to them as Galway palms, although like they come from New Zealand, and but I mean they do have them around Galway, which made me think of that as the name. But the New Zealand cabbage tree, like it's a thing that looks sort of like a very small palm with with the leaves coming out of a center, and like a palm tree, the leaves come out of a central part that is edible, like a palm heart, and that the in New Zealand the Maori ate them quite a bit. Um, and I think some people in New Zealand still actually gather and eat them. Um, but that that thing is found here, and that you'll also see them in this part of England and Atlantic parts of France. As the only palm-like thing that grows up here. Um, okay. Yeah, this kind of wall is very Irish. Yeah, once again you can see that there's the farms with the with this sort of walls, and also like the concrete structure with this thing. Um, those are industrial hay bales. Okay. Um, yeah, so here, another example of the architecture that they do like having like a wall out in front, um, and that it's a European sort of appearance of the house. Like this could almost be in France or the Netherlands. Um, okay. Is that a burrow in the field? It looks like it is. Okay. Um, okay, there's another house. Okay, so this that we have, a lot of little sorts of paths like this. Uh, we have enclosures in stone walls. That's common in Ireland. This spot has more trees in it, but you can see that there's a strong tendency in Ireland toward this sort of lush pasture land. That it's the kind of environment that produces like a lot of dairy products. You know, and of course, that also this climate is good for the growing of potatoes. Um, except when, of course, they get diseases and die. But like this is, not a modern problem in Ireland, we think. Um, all right, we have, yeah. So I guess I'm going to say that it's maybe down here. I'll guess, around Kilkenny. Um, again, like these are more, educational streams rather than trying to get a higher score. There's I will talk to the to the point where I don't guess. Um, okay. This one I'm Yeah, we seem to not be getting out to a main road where we might see some signs that would tell us where we are. Um, yeah, that you'll notice that like the Irish houses also like, that the rural houses are pretty nice looking, like it doesn't look like, like sometimes, like rural areas in the United States, like the houses don't look so great. But that in that the Irish houses have that that sort of clean European appearance as I said also like it does have a strange resemblance to the Netherlands at times. um okay, so I tried down here and it turned out to be up here, so I should mention some terminology that as we saw before, there was the place Offaly is a county, and I think there are about 40 of those in Ireland, and the counties are labeled on the map. Uh, there are regional terms for groups of counties, and that this is called the principal populated part of Ireland around Dublin is called Leinster, Leinster. Um, the area around Cork and Limerick is called Munster, and that is Munster without an umlaut. Like obviously that this is a word in English or presumably Irish at some point, because I think that the four traditional divisions of Ireland date to before the conquest by England. Um, that that this is Leinster here. This is Munster here around Cork, and I think it extends up to around Limerick. Um, Connaught is this area up here, and Connaught is definitely less populated, and that you have some more hilly sort of terrain here. This is odd kind of stuff. It's some I think it's some kind of post glacial terrain. That but it has a lot of small hills and things in it. Um, and then Ulster is larger than Northern Ireland, but all of Northern Ireland is considered to be part of Ulster, and the county of Donegal is part of Ulster. Monaghan is part of Ulster, and let's see. I want to say that there's another county in it that's in Ulster. Let me see. Was it? I don't think it was Louth. Cavan. It might be Cavan. That I think that was the other county in Ulster. Um, and so the here there's the yeah. So that's the southern boundary of Donegal there, and then I think Leitrim and Sligo are in Connacht. Uh, Connacht is spelled Connaght, or C. No, wait, no, Connacht, right? That that in Irish that sound is written as the h sound is written as ch, as opposed to the GH that you see in Scotland for that sound sometimes. Um, and that I think both are actually in use in Scotland. For instance, there's the name Loch Ness is written with Loch, but I think there are actually lakes called Lough also in Scotland. So that I think that that's not diagnostic at all. Um, okay, okay. So now we're in town. We have Neville hotels. Let's see, Alfie Hales, music, food, and sport, takeaway food. Now completed Pier 37. That might mean we're on the ocean. Um, let's see. Looking at the buildings and things, I'm thinking maybe we might be in some place larger or maybe not. Okay, there's a big waterfront. Town on the other side. Okay, we can't go this. Let's see, Adelphi Wharf Suites. Um, hmm. Okay. Still not sure where this is. I think that the Dublin waterfront on the Liffey River, does look a bit like that river, but that we would have to be, for there to be this many trees around, we would have to be considerably up from Dublin, right? Okay, Malcolmson's shipping office. Wait, there's maybe the city council name on that. Um, we can't get a close look at it. Oh, Waterford Civic Trust. Okay, so Waterford is one of the large towns in. Waterford is in Leinster at the southern end, I think. Yeah, so there's Waterford and Wexford are the sort of larger towns in this area, and Kilkenny. Um, so Waterford looks like it has, maybe a channel that's sort of similar to what we're seeing. Yeah, it's in. Yeah. Oh, actually, this couldn't have been the Liffey because the orientation is wrong. This is like a north-south channel. Uh, so this looks like we're maybe over here someplace. Let's see. That's County Kilkenny. Oh, County Waterford is down here. So, if it said Waterford, maybe we're down here. That here, there's Passage East and Baileyhack. Uh, there's Passage East Ferry. Chinese restaurant. Yeah, but I'm not seeing that hotel, right? Um, let's see. Could there be someplace else that's sort of a north-south? Ah, I was not expecting it to actually be in the city. Right? It didn't look right for that. Um, so what did we do? We must have walked out here and then gone this way, and then it wasn't apparent that there was a whole lot of town behind us. Um, I called it a city, even Waterford being one of the larger towns in Ireland. It's still not that big. I think Waterford is well short of 100,000 people. I think it's in the neighborhood of like 50,000. Um, and I think actually the only urban areas with more than 100,000 people in Ireland are Dublin, Cork, and Belfast. And Belfast is, of course, not in the country Ireland, it's in Northern Ireland. You will see people refer to the country of Ireland as the Republic of Ireland, and that is actually incorrect. The country does not use that form. In government communications, that the country is only referred to as Ireland. Um, Okay. And then we have yeah, so so then I think after, like after sort of those big three, right? Belfast, Dublin, and Cork. Let me think of some other ones. There's Derry, which was renamed Londonderry as a deliberate insult by the English in 1688. Um, and there's the famous sign there, welcome to free Derry, put up by IRA militants, I think in the around 1970, and the sign is still there. Okay. There's let's see, yeah, there's Galway, largest town I think in the Connaught region here. And Limerick, is another significant, large town, and Waterford. And Limerick has also near it Shannon, which has a large international airport it's a relic of a time when aircraft were not as long range as they are now. And so, that Shannon is now kind of a disused airport, kind of like also Gander in Newfoundland is another example, where they were more interested in having a place for long, longer transatlantic flights to break the flight. But um, and I think these are still important as emergency landing sites for transatlantic flights. And as I remember, because of the difficulty of that the airport is overblown for the amount of flights that it has, that Shannon, I've heard at times, will offer some of the cheapest transatlantic flights, particularly in sort of off-peak periods, like I know that it's at times very cheap to fly from the eastern United States to Ireland in January or February going to Shannon. And your first, the thought of a lot of people is that, why would you go to Ireland at that time of the year? And, while it's sort of, like chilly, misty, and rainy, first of all, you're going to Ireland. It's supposed to be like that. And also, as I mentioned, like in this area, the average January temperature is actually, comparable to, in say the Atlanta area, like for a lot of people from the United States, going to Ireland is actually in January or February would be a relief. They get to be in some place that's much warmer. It's not completely covered with snow. And I mean, if you got exceptionally bad luck and there was a snowstorm in Ireland, then you would have a great story, right? You could actually say that you got to see a rare snowstorm in Ireland. So, okay. Um, so we have okay. Yeah, so these again, fields with these things around them is very Irish. Was that a dog back there, or what was it? No, can't see it. Yeah, it looked like there might have been a something in the road. Um, yeah, that's a nice country house there. You know, and you'll also notice that like that the nice country houses like that, like they're mostly modern. Like that Ireland was very poor in the past. I don't think that they have a yeah, although of course, then you see things like this, right? Of course, that was probably built as a fortification and not a house. Okay, so obviously we look at that. Yeah, okay, so it's got arrow slits. I'm thinking this may be a pre-cannon sort of fortress. You know, of course, I mean, in Ireland, presumably this was to defend against the local population, by the English landlord class. Um, but let's see, Rudestown, it says. Ooh, look at that bright yellow field. That's probably sunflowers or canola. Um, Also, as I said, like we saw there long sight distances. not as many trees, but that you can see that it is generally beautiful and green, and that as I said, like because of the relatively high winter temperatures, the growing season is actually pretty long in Ireland. That they can grow things that would be frozen on the east coast of the United States. Um, okay. Um, Also, what I said about low temperature ranges, it doesn't apply as well in the southern hemisphere. Southern Chile, New Zealand, um, places like that. Tierra del Fuego, have more trees than you would think. I don't know why this is. It may be that may have to do with the details of southern hemisphere botany. Um, oh, that I think, yeah, that's I think the New Zealand thing that I mentioned. And yep, see what I told you about not guessing? Okay, so let's see. So where were we? We were in near Dundalk, County Louth, is that? Um yeah, County Louth. Oh, also you'll notice the unusual order here that counties in Ireland are called County X. Um that in North America it's the other way around, right? Like for instance, I live in Tompkins County. Um yeah, I know. I doxed myself, and you know what? Yeah, they you know I mean, I don't really have anything to fuck with. I think but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But oh, this place Dundalk also is it's a convenient place for people from Northern Ireland to shop. I think that there may be some strategic sorts of purchases where you would maybe want to do them inside the European Union, and so that Dundalk is, I think, has businesses aimed at people from Northern Ireland. Um, okay. Um, let's see. We have. Yeah, you'll see fields with this. There's these stubbly things in the fields, right? Um, let's see. That thing told me that I should plug the computer into the wall. Which, yep. Um, all right. So, okay, we have wind turbines. Right. Completely logical thing to do in an environment in a. Okay, so we have a few small hills. Um, yeah, this still looks about right. Um, All right, yeah, so not plenty of rural rounds, like that seems to be a thing most country maps of GeoGuessr, unless of course it's Austria where like it's way too many rounds in Vienna instead. Um, okay, this yield sign, uh, I think may actually be unique to Ireland, or that. Okay, so this one was down here. This, yeah, okay. So is that still the same county as? Okay, that's not the same county as Limerick. It's the one north of it. Clare. Okay. Um, yeah. Oh, Tipperary is. I mentioned one of my. That I have ancestry that according to genetic databases came from the High Kings of Ireland. That the originator of that male lineage in the United States, someone called Hugh Dunn, um, is believed to be one of the earliest Irish immigrants to the English colonies in the New World, and that we don't know where Hugh Dunn is from, but that there were other people from Tipperary that settled in the same place that he did, and so they and so that is probably where his family came from, and that's so far back. I mean, Hugh Dunn was born in 1650 or something like that. So that's only a tiny fraction of my actual Irish ancestry. That my um, great great grandmother was Kate Heckert, maiden name O'Brien, was born in the United States to Irish parents, and that she was an orphan. The line is untraceable, but genetic evidence suggests that that she is probably related to that I am probably related to people whose names are O'Brien and Shea that came from Kerry, which Kerry is that down here. You can see there's some really large counties marked on the map. That Kerry is this one over here. Um, and then so this county is Kerry. This one is Cork. Uh, in this Munster region, and then yeah, so Limerick also has. Let's see, what's the county called that Limerick is in? County Limerick. Okay, that makes sense. Um, and that the genetic matches from Kerry suggest that probably my ancestors lived around Dingle. Um, and Dingle in modern times is actually known as what's called a Gaeltacht, which is an area recognized by the Irish language preservation authorities as being a place where people actually speak Irish in real life, or at least they try to. The whole thing. There's kind of some absurdities about the Irish status of the Irish language in Ireland. It turns out that in some of these Gaeltacht areas, a major source of income is actually teaching Irish, and that people actually can essentially get a subsidy just by maintaining an Irish speaking household, whatever that means. You know, um, but that so that so that's a reason why uh, people go to this peninsula here, which has Dingle on it, is that people go there, to uh, actually learn Irish. Um, okay, so I get an unimpressive medal. Um, yeah, without guessing. Okay, wow. 7,712 points divided by four guesses, which is still not very good. Okay. Um, we haven't had a whole lot of clues with these we get these sort of rural places. um Yeah, so there's a few hills in this area. Um, I don't think there are any real mountains in Ireland. I think their highest. I think I don't know offhand what the highest point in Ireland is, but I think it's maybe 1,000 meters above sea level at the most. Um, um, that they do have places where there's considerable local relief. That there are steep slopes and cliffs. That in particular parts of the east and north side of Ireland have land that runs right up to the ocean and then falls off into it with a cliff. Um, there's one of those areas is the cliffs of Connemara are very well known, and also somewhere around there is the island that Luke Skywalker lived on the last Star Wars movie. Or at least in 2021, the last Star Wars movie. I'm assuming that they will never make another one, but who knows? We have DNG Farm for Sale. Well, I mean, they'll make other Star Wars movies, but presumably they will not be the Star Wars series movies. Um, okay, we have. Yeah, so again, you'll notice one of the things that you could use to differentiate this from England, like the houses are the houses tend to be new, and that they I mean they look somewhat more really like continental houses than English ones. Yeah, again, they like these sorts of walls. uh I think that might be a young cabbage tree. um okay, which, as I said, is probably in this part of the island then. um Sheep, that's very Irish thing. Yeah, it's interesting that like in the United States, that sheep raising has almost gone out of existence. Like where I live, there are pictures from around 1900 where the hills surrounding my town are they're bare. There are sheep grazing on them, and now those hills are covered in dense forest. Not only did they stop sheep raising in the area, but that the land was really not that useful agriculturally, and that at least in competition with other places in the United States. Okay, so we were in Donegal, which I mentioned, that this is part of Ulster, but not part of Northern Ireland. Um, And yeah, there's an interesting name, for the chief town in Donegal is called Letterkenny. Um, and that Yeah, so it was interesting that we had the cabbage tree all the way up there. I mean it was in a pot, so maybe they moved it inside. Maybe they move it inside in the winter. Like keep it from dying. Um, okay. Hmm. Or it could be that they're counting on global warming when the thing gets older. I don't know how long it takes to grow a cabbage tree. Um, I've actually heard of people speculating on that. Around I think it was around Cork actually planting olive trees. Uh, figuring that that if Ireland got much warmer, those would actually be viable. Um, of course, an olive tree takes so long to grow that like you may die of old age before you get a good crop of olives. Um, okay, so this is interesting. Like that's like an earth wall with grass on it. Okay, there's some hills back there. The Guinness truck, very important. Oh, the Guinness quality team. Okay, that's that. So they these are the people that do students' tea distributions. That the Guinness Brewery, it turns out, made a major advance in statistics, I think around the 1920s, by their quality control department. Developed a statistical test called the students' tea distribution that's used a lot. We have the Lynx cottages, junior clubhouse. All right, slow. Oh, golf. See, this is one of those environments where golf is almost a natural phenomenon, right? Like in Scotland. Um, yeah, so this, yeah, okay, so remember to guess next time. Yeah, I even thought that it was near the, yeah, I should have especially guessed, I thought it was likely to be near the coast, with the appearance, and it was. Okay. Where did that building go? Um, okay, that's freaky. I'm going to reset this. So I step toward the building. Okay, it says Stone Park National School, Skongortna. Um, Stone Park. Hmm. Then, okay, I can step down here and it doesn't disappear. That's good. Um, yep, this is not Guatemala, so the long series of lines across the road are yellow and not white. Oh, that's interesting that this is another example of yellow, white, yellow. A pattern that is really you tend to associate with Southern Africa. Um, it's very different, like lane markings from Southern Africa, though. Okay, we have top proud to be Irish. Okay, um, that's I guess €1.11 per liter. I guess that's not bad, right? Um, yep, you're a strong independent voice in Europe. Okay, so that's I guess ad for someone running for members of the European Parliament, I would guess. Um, okay, Longford County Council. So that tells us which county this is. I don't know Longford. Um, let's see. It's not Kerry or Cork or Limerick. We let's see. I'd guess. Oh, there's Longford, the town. So um, okay, this is a road that goes north south. That was. Let's go back to the start, and this was Stone Park National School. So if there's a place called Stone Park, or it was yeah, I can't I mean this is school is obviously school, but let's see, Gortnaklocha, I don't know which, but yeah, I don't know how they decide which places to plot on in Ireland. That I know that that Irish counties are divided into very small subdivisions called townlands that which were used on land deeds. Um, that this um, I remember looking at genealogical literature about, how to trace your ancestors in Ireland, which it turns out in my case is impossible. Um, but it mentioned that that when it gives locations in farms, you can look that up, and that these are townlands are so small that I think these are not townlands, but I don't know how they pick which ones are on there. It's probably from what they mark on the topographic series for the country, which would here be the original ordnance series maps from Britain, and presumably, like updated by the modern authorities. Um, okay, so it was down there. Yeah, so there's Stone Park National School, and yeah, there's no obvious name for this place, right? It's between Balliol and Danesfort. Um, yeah, that's an interesting name, Danesfort. Um, you know, um, must have I mean, you think of Danes as being more in like Yorkshire, right? Like what were they doing all the way out here? Um, I guess that was a thing, right? That in the Viking Age there were definitely Viking invasions of Ireland as well. Um, right. Okay, so we're on a divided highway, um, which I would think there's not that many of. Okay, we've got N80. So Carlow, Rosslare, Enniscorthy. Carlow, yeah, that's I think one of the county names. Yeah, County Carlow is there. N80. Um, we have Rosslare, Enniscorthy. There's Enniscorthy. Okay, so this looks like it's an exit onto the N80. It might be, looking at it, maybe it's M7 in Port Louis here. Um, Wait, is this exit 5? That might be something to look for close up. Wait, N80 and M7 don't even seem to have an exit there. That's very odd. Um, there was another M road crossing here. Carlow Bridge temporarily closed. Okay. Oh, there's 5, yeah. Okay, so that's 2 kilometers south. Okay, so let's see. So we've got a curve around like that. Hmm. Yeah, it does look like we could be on that stretch. Um, is that a road going? Okay, that shows an overpass in the stretch though, which we would probably which wait, is that it? There's an overpass a bit to the north. Could that be that one? Or no, that's not an overpass. Um, this is, of course, also assuming that Google knows what they're doing about which road is on top of what. Which I found that can be in error on maps sometimes. Um, let's see, so that's north. Okay, well, we were 536 meters off, so that's a good round. Oh, I have viewers. Okay, hi viewers. Um, so this is the second game in the stream, so I'll have a full game after this one. So okay, we have not Cork Hill. Um, so that name suggests to me actually that maybe we are not in Cork, although here we do have old urban buildings. Um, Change Hotel. Yeah, I'm guessing Dublin for oh, Dublin bus. Okay, so we are in Dublin then. Um, the main thing that I remember to recognize in Dublin is that there's this elaborate waterfront on the Liffey here. Um, that's immediately recognizable when you see it. It's got to be in the old center, right? Did the Okay, we have a monumental building with an Irish flag. Um, Nothing obvious about what it is. You can't really read that. Um, I think this one is in Irish actually, so also I can't read that. Um, hmm, uh, all right. Hmm. Oh, there's a blue signpost over here with directions to things. If I can just figure out how to actually get to it. Um, this is not going well because when you step toward it, it goes that way and then that way. One of these Street View Bermuda Triangle situations. Um, okay, so this is a big east-west road. Wait, it has a name. Um, Dane Street or it says Reid and Dana. Okay. Temple Bar and Two. That's odd. Is Two like a zone system or something like that? Like like Paris, for instance, has sections of the city. Like there's Premier Arrondissement, Deuxième Arrondissement. Oh, that big building was City Hall. Okay, um, so an expert probably would have actually recognized it. I am not an expert at this. And I mean, this stream is more about general knowledge rather than the specific country. But yeah, so yeah, and so you can see that I'm not an expert. I don't have a silver, although that I hadn't played this before this stream, so this is out of two games, and I've been talking all the time, so my performance is not really optimal. Um, right. Um, yeah, there it is again. Yellow, yellow, white. So I guess that goes into our set of rules is that when you see yellow on the outside and white in the middle, you're in Southern Africa or in Ireland, which maybe that's where they got it. I don't know. Okay. Again, like Irish country houses are often surprisingly impressive and relatively new, much more so than England. Although, yeah, so I, uh, yeah, this looks like an older building. They've of course got them. Um, oh yeah, I've noticed, like yard cars in Ireland before. Like I don't think I've seen this phenomenon in Europe anywhere else. Um, where people sort of are, these are kind of amateur junkyards, set up by people in rural areas, that they'll, I think that they strip parts off of them, okay, here, here we have an Ireland sticker on an Ireland thing on the plate here, and it's green. Okay. Of course, this is also a sign, a license plate on a tractor, which, that I guess you have to do that to drive it on the road. That I think in the U.S. you can drive an unlicensed you can drive a tractor on a road without a license. That but yeah, as I remember, there's in the United States there are some that I guess it's unusually easy to drive things on the road. Including cars. But that there was a legal problem recently in New York State that that the laws didn't really define what the limit was for an electric vehicle, and so there were questions about like whether you needed a license to drive an electric scooter in New York, and I don't know if they ever resolved it. Uh, okay, so here we have Kilcrone National School. So the other one said national school too. It must be a common thing. And so here we can see Kilcrone written in Irish. And okay, so that was County Galway then. Right, that's what it's called, right? Yeah, County Galway, County Roscommon. Like that's another one. Yeah, and so this was Connaught region. Um, okay. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to get even a silver on this, if I keep talking like this, but you know, these streams are not about me getting good scores. Um, these are about exploring the country. And okay, we have Knocknageashel. Okay, wonderful name, and Hedley's Bridge. Um, Okay, this one Drogheda. There's a town called Drogheda, which must be from that. Um, we have L 2027, which is obviously some tiny little road we'll never find. Um, Knocknagashel. Let's see. Oh, Limerick. Okay, so that's one of our large places that we're supposed to know where it is. And Tralee is the seat of Kerry, as I remember. Right? Yeah, so we're between Limerick and Kerry somewhere. That's N21. Um, so this is N21. We're between Abbeyfeale and Castle Island. Okay, so there's Abbeyfeale. Oh, there's Knocknagashel. Um, Hedley's Bridge. Okay, so we have to be around here. Yeah, so this was what, L 2027? Yeah, that might not even be plotted. Um, oh yeah, here's some great names. Aggie's Inch, um, Thompson Farm, 1797. Okay. Hmm. All right. So looking at it, let's see. So to the south, there's a curve. Yeah. You'll notice here there's more trees than in some of the other places that we saw, right? That Yeah, so we must be like right here, right? Okay. And oh, look at that bollard. Green, white, green, right? Okay, so that's a good one. Um, all right, so I was not quite the right intersection. It was this one. Um, yeah. So that one, yeah, so that was just inside Kerry, that near the border with Limerick. Um, yeah. So yeah, so looking at it, like some of the county names to remember, I guess, like these three you can see are really big, and then Cork has Cork in it, Limerick has Limerick in it, and then Kerry is this one. And yeah, I think that the largest town in, I think this Tralee, I think, is the largest town in Kerry. And then this one here, that was Clare. Okay, is where Shannon is. Okay. Um, yeah, and then Galway, right, is okay. So yeah, so the bigger counties are in the outlying areas. Donegal, Sligo is a county, right? Is that right? Yeah. Okay, that's Leitrim, which I probably won't remember. Um, and then this county is huge too. Which one is that? That's Mayo. Okay. Um, and so then Mayo, yeah. So I think maybe the largest town it is Castlebar. Looks like Mayo is pretty rural looking. Um, yeah. Oh, also that's Ireland has for a developed country, an unusually rural population. There's you've seen here that with the rural rounds, they're not big and empty, like countryside in say the United States is. That there's plenty of houses in every place that we've seen, but that it's not heavily populated, countryside to the extent that you have in say the Netherlands, like where every place is on the edge of town. Um, that here there's plenty of space, but like you're not going to get stranded miles from civilization on some remote road in Ireland. That there will at least be houses around. Yeah, again, like that Ireland has these, a lot of nice looking country houses. Um, yeah, there's okay. So here, the Bollard of the Green, I guess that's one of our lessons from this stream. Green, white, green. Um, the flag, of course, being orange, white, and green. The orange on the on the Irish flag, interestingly, it represents Northern Ireland. Um, that why orange is a long story. It has to do with the Whig takeover of England by in 1688. Bringing William of Orange to the throne, who was the stadtholder of the Netherlands. Okay, which raises the interesting question: why does the Netherlands not have orange on their flag? I don't know that. Um, okay, R311 Newport to Castlebar, so we know which road this is. Uh, let's see, Newport and yeah, there's Castlebar up there. Um, Newport on R311. Um, where's Newport? There's Westport. There's Newport. Okay, so that's the R311 here. Um, oh, Director of Services and County Engineer, Mayo County. Okay. Um, yeah, again, yellow, white, yellow. Okay. Yeah, this this could almost look like Eswatini too, except yeah, some nice. Yeah, remember I mentioned that there's sort of a weird post-glacial landscape in Connaught and also like Donegal County. That's so that's those hills I think that I was thinking of. They they look interesting on the Google Earth sort of views, like this so-called satellite views, which usually are actually from airplanes at this point. Um, we have Drumgoney Loch. Um, that's a lake, right? So let's see, Colmore National School. Oh, there's Drumlong there. Uh, wait, Drumgoney Loch. Um, that's Drumgarva. Okay, so we were 2.8 kilometers off. All right. Uh, so I guess we're getting toward the end of the stream, right? Two rounds left, and then it will be time for me to cook. Okay, so we've got yeah. So this also like nice looking country house and this kind of stone construction you see in Ireland a lot. Um, yeah, is that a wood pole? Okay, yeah. Oh, see, I mentioned yard cars. That you see, these. Yeah, there's the industrial hay bale again. I wonder if there's a reason why hay bales are black. Um, yeah, I know that in some European climates with that are like this, it can be difficult to get hay to even dry, and that it could be that the black wrapper causes it to get warmer during the day and inhibits mold formation on the hay. Yeah. Okay. These are Holstein cows. Okay. And so, like the stereotypical, black and white cow, and that the Holstein cow is better suited to colder climates and dairy production. So although I have certainly seen Holstein cows, in environments that are not like that at all. I saw one once in a photo taken during the U.S. invasion of Iraq, and I was stunned that a Holstein cow would ever be in Iraq. You'd think that it would just melt and leave a pile of butter behind. Um, you know that, but yeah, that Ireland, has a small temperature range, a small annual temperature range, and so it probably, I think it's pretty unusual for it to break, like 30 degrees Celsius in Ireland, that would be an exceptionally hot summer day. And as I said, like also Ireland is not very cold in the winter. So it has a climate that's somewhat similar also to to tropical climates at higher elevation. That in terms of temperature, actually, like Johannesburg is not that different from Ireland. Um, except of course that Johannesburg has a very different pattern of rainfall and is a lot drier than Ireland. Um, okay, so last round we have Plunkett. Yeah, also, I think by not guessing, I have clinched that, I might have gotten a silver if I had guessed on that last one. We have Polonaise Food Store. That I've heard that, like that this might be that Britain and Ireland have an unusually large number of immigrants from Poland. Um, okay, that we have Ireland's cheapest pot noodle. Um, they make noodles out of pot in Ireland. That's interesting. Um, okay, we've got Little. We have a Tesco, right? British grocery chain. Yeah, so I think this is probably Dublin, although I don't know. Um, yeah, I've seen Cork is fair. Oh, River Liffey. That means that this has to, in fact, be Dublin because um, let's see, we've got the Jameson Distillery, um, the James Joyce Center. Okay, so this is not just Dublin, but extremely Dublin. Then, um, oh, the General Post Office. That was the site of a famous incident in Ireland's liberation struggle, I think, during World War One. Okay, so we have to be near the center then. The National Leprechaun Museum of Ireland. Okay, uh, Old Jameson Distillery, Henry Street. So is this actually Henry Street here? Yeah, you'll notice that surprising sometimes road signage is surprisingly bad on identifying individual streets. Um, this isn't Amsterdam, where there's definitely much more fastidious, like marking of streets, with those blue and white Dutch signs. Let's see that. Okay, so yeah. Also, this is, I guess, is a Dublin sign as far as I can tell. Although, we haven't really looked at any other cities to really know for sure. But I guess that would be something to think about. That might be a specifically Dublin sign. Um, okay, this is kind of east-west. Yeah, so it wasn't the center, it was up there. Okay. So what did we do? Did we walk out this way perhaps onto maybe, yeah, Parnell Street? Okay, there's the Tesco. Yeah, so that was what we did is we walked out here onto this street. Um, all right, so I think then, uh, yeah, just only guessing four times, I got 13,655 points. So that was a good round then. Um, doesn't give me a silver for it because you should actually guess every time. But these things I'm just busy talking. Like this is an educational stream, not one aimed at getting higher scores. All right, so I guess then we're done with this one, and so then these are in alphabetical order by domain name. So next after IE comes IL, Israel. So that should be a very interesting stream. Um, I did play that one in advance. Like I did that. Yesterday. So that one I'm not not coming from absolutely zero. I have of course played Ireland rounds on other things, but I guess I've never actually played the Ireland map before this. So that was unexpected. All right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.